everyone, welcome to the Very Awesome Vlog Challenge number 5, April through June. I'm really excited for some of the questions in this one. Ivy Rose did a really good job of picking some rather difficult to answer questions, so I'm excited to get into these. The first question was, if you were going to spend 1 year away from home in a cabin in the woods and were only allowed to bring one suitcase of belongings, what would you pack? That's really hard, a whole year with only one suitcase. I'm assuming I could buy food and groceries because that's kind of necessary. Aside from essentials like, toothbrush, hair stuff, that type of a thing, I would probably for sure bring my laptop and charger. I could probably leave my phone behind, but I might as well take it because it's not like it can go in my back pocket and not like it takes up a ton of room. I would probably also bring like some clothes, obviously, but probably more along the lines of something that's wearable for a long time. Probably, if it's in the mountains, probably some jeans, some workout clothes maybe. Definitely like some sweatshirts or something warmer. Basically t-shirts, sweatshirts. Yeah, that like the essential clothes types of thing. Also definitely bring my Bible and totally bring notebooks and pens. Hopefully I would be able to pack enough of those. My journal, that type of thing. I would also, I might be able to live on another pillow for a year, but I might bring my own pillow and my stuffed animal, don't judge. I'm trying to think. I probably would bring a couple of good books that I know I would want, but otherwise I would bring my Kindle because I can put all kinds of books on there. Hopefully I would have Wi-Fi. That's really hard. I would have to, that means I'd have to be a year away from my piano. That would be really hard and really sad because there's no way you could pack a piano in a suitcase. I mean, don't they make like foldable keyboards or something? I think they might do that. Anyway, okay, so something like that. Maybe they have a piano at the cabin. If they have a piano at the cabin, I would definitely bring piano music. Yeah, that's probably the most important things. Definitely laptop, pens and notebooks, my Bible, a couple of books, that type of stuff. So, that would be that. And then the second question, do you believe in writer's block? I kind of don't. So hopefully you don't like get really angry at me for like this being my thing. I kind of don't believe in writer's block. Writer's block is kind of something else, but that's been called writer's block, and I kind of feel like it's used more of an excuse than anything else. Anytime I've ever had quote-unquote writer's block, I've always been able to push through it. I've never actually had a moment where I couldn't push through, and if I could, I think that probably would be God telling me to do something else right now. So yeah, I don't really think writer's block exists. There might be a time when you're not really feeling inspired, or you just you're not feeling creative or in the moment type of thing. In that case, I would probably say go do something else for a little while and then come back. Or the biggest thing you can do is just push through in the moment. I've had lots of those moments of, sometimes you only write, when you spend an hour on something, you might only come away with one page, but the moments of pushing through that, and I've had a lot of times when I've written for every day for extended periods of time, like a couple of months. And to be honest, I never once experienced writer's block. It's really important to just push through that and keep going. So hopefully that wasn't too long-winded. I'm trying to be quick because my battery's dying, so hopefully it doesn't cut off in the middle. Okay, I'm back. My camera died. So here we are again. It's what is one fiction book that helped you grow spiritually? Knowing me and knowing that I'm an avid reader, it probably comes as no surprise to you that I have 4 books that make the list. So I kind of went down in our library and was just kind of looking through books and trying to remember. I knew one right off the bat, but I knew that there was a few more, and as I saw them I was like, yes, there it is! I'm like, so yeah. I'm going to start with probably the first 2 that I read. This one is Jessica's First Prayer and Jessica's Mother, and this, I apologize, the paper, or the cover we put on it is kind of weird, so it kind of makes it hard to read, but this is like a paperback version. I read this, probably when I was 8 or 9, maybe 10 or 12, like in that range. I do not know why, but it's the first book that I can, hang on a second, my mom's calling me. Hello? Okay, I'm back again. So anyway, we were talking about Jessica's first prayer and Jessica's mother. I don't know why, but I remember distinctly that this book really impacted me emotionally and spiritually. I actually, probably one of the first books I cried while reading. The salvation story in it was so touching. I don't know, it was just so good. Such a really, and her child, like, you know, I've read it, you know, numerous times since then and listened to the audio drama they've made of it and stuff, which by the way is really good. Like, it was so good, the audio drama once, because this book was such a favorite of mine and I've read it numerous times. When they made the audio drama and I first heard the audio drama trailer, I literally cried. I was like, it's so good. Yeah, but I think just the innocence of Jessica and her open heart and her tender heart towards God, I think really impacted me at that time in my life. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes God's not a priority to us and he needs to be, and to Jessica, he was her everything. He gave her everything that she needed, and it was just such a beautiful picture to me of that. And again, to this day, it remains a favorite and something that still warms the cockles of my heart. So book number 2 is Three People by Isabella Eldon, and again, this is actually read at the same time period I would have read that book. People, this book does not get enough attention it deserves. I do not know why, I swear, but this book is so good. I read it so many times. I probably read it upwards of 10 to 15 times. No joke. I love it that much. Seriously, it's so good. Please, 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 please read it. The story is so riveting and so deep, and the spiritual themes throughout, so good. Like, the character arcs and the struggles of the people. Again, another book I've cried over and just adore. And I'm going to be reading this again this week. It's been on my, I pulled it out because I'm like, okay, I'm seriously reading this again. I've been thinking about it, talking to friends about it recently. It's so, so good. Just the spiritual theme of, like, again, this kind of theme to me was something that I read a lot of books about, and it's probably one of the most encouraging things to me, is just being strong in your faith and being confident and being strong enough to say what you believe. And you know, you never know how God's going to use that. God can use that to save others and to draw them closer to him, and that just really impacted me in that way. So Three People by Isabella Eldon is amazing. Book number 3, again, I'll try to be a little quicker with these, but book number 3 is called First We Have Coffee by Margaret Jensen. This is actually, I think, an autobiography, but it reads like a storybook. It's about a Scandinavian immigrant and her family and her growing up and when she was married and had kids, and just the reality of the applications of her spiritual journey was so good. And like, one of the moments that I remember the most is when she was overwhelmed by something. She put her apron over her head and prayed. She went away by herself, locked herself behind her apron just by herself. She needed to gather herself and gather her thoughts, and she spent that moment with God, and it just brought peace to her soul. And it's always a constant reminder to me of, when you're in those moments, you know, seek God. He's always there. He's always going to provide, and he will always provide a peace and a way for you to be the strength to, you know, meet that situation. So love that book. Super sweet story, super sweet people. And last but not least is this ginormous brick, Les Mis. There are so many spiritual themes in this book that I can't even begin to list them all. First of all, isn't this copy just gorgeous? It's so cool. This book, though, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. I watched the musical before I read the book and fell in love with it and needed to read the book. The book is a million times better and so good. The translation that I read, I believe, is the same one as Isabel Hapgood. Definitely would recommend that translation of it. I just can't even. It's huge, and I can't believe I accomplished it. Like, seriously, it's ginormous. It's ridiculously chunky and big. It was so, so good, though. Like, and probably the biggest spiritual theme that sticks out to me in my head now, thinking back on it, was the story of Javert and just his grappling with the law. He was so attached to the law that he couldn't understand grace, whereas Valjean was on the side of grace. And so just that warring between Law and Grace was so beautifully played out and portrayed in the book, and it's a book that I highly recommend. I know it is super overwhelming to look at, and the idea of reading it can scare a lot of people off, but it is so good and so worth it, and I don't think you'll regret it if you read it. So yeah, those are the 4 books that affected me deepest spiritual-wise. Again, hopefully I didn't wax too eloquent, but they are super special to me, and I hope that you read one of them maybe and it touches your heart the same way that it did mine. So yeah, that wraps up the questions. Thank you so much to Ivy Rose for putting this together. She's a real champ. I have come to know her a little bit and follow her blog, and I think she's really cool. So definitely go check out her website at Lakeside Publications and go watch everybody else's vlogs. They were super fun and informative to hear everybody else's answers to questions. Also, if you have an interest, there's a little bit of more time left for you to get your video in. Ivy Rose is being super sweet and giving away a $10 Amazon gift card to a particular winner who enters the vlog challenge. So yeah, go check it out at her site. I will put the link in the description box below. Have an awesome day, an awesome week, and God bless. Bye.